Have you ever felt like you're giving more in a relationship than you're receiving? This is a common sentiment in what we call one-sided relationships. These types of relationships can stir up a whirlpool of negative emotions, from resentment and frustration to downright unhappiness. They're characterized by imbalanced efforts, limited communication, unfulfilled needs, and a lack of mutual reciprocity. If you've ever felt this way, then stick around as we delve into the signs of a one-sided relationship. The first sign of a one-sided relationship is an imbalanced effort. Picture this. You're always the one making plans, initiating conversations, or resolving disagreements. You put your heart and soul into the relationship, while your partner seems to merely coast along. This imbalance is often a clear sign of a one-sided relationship. Imbalanced effort can manifest in different ways. You might find yourself always being the one to reach out first, or you might feel like you're the only one investing time and energy into nurturing the relationship. Perhaps you're the one who is consistently more emotionally invested, always going the extra mile to ensure your partner's happiness, often at the expense of your own. In a healthy relationship, both parties should contribute equally. They should both invest time, energy, and emotional commitment. If this balance is off, the relationship can feel like a struggle, leaving you feeling drained and unfulfilled. If you find yourself constantly putting in more effort than your partner, it could be a sign of a one-sided relationship. Another sign of a one-sided relationship is the lack of reciprocation and limited communication. When you're in a relationship, it's essential to feel seen, heard, and valued. But in a one-sided relationship, this balance often tips. You may notice that conversations are dominated by your partner's needs and interests, leaving little room for your own experiences. For instance, you might find yourself constantly supporting your partner's ambitions, listening to their stories and problems, but when it's time to share your own, their attention seems to wane. This lack of reciprocation can leave you feeling sidelined and undervalued. Limited communication is another red flag. If your partner rarely asks about your day, your feelings, or your thoughts, it's a clear sign they're not fully invested in the relationship. Being in a relationship is about sharing and caring for each other's lives. If your conversations are mostly about your partner's life and you feel your needs and interests are not valued, you might be in a one-sided relationship. Unfulfilled needs and the absence of compromise are also clear signs of a one-sided relationship. Picture this. You're consistently going out of your way to understand and meet your partner's needs, but when it comes to yours, they seem to turn a blind eye. This disregard is not only hurtful, but can also lead to feelings of disconnection and unimportance. You may feel as if you're shouting into a void, with your concerns and desires falling on deaf ears. Now let's talk about compromise. In a balanced relationship, both parties willingly make compromises to ensure the happiness of the other. However, in a one-sided relationship, you might find yourself constantly bending to your partner's will, with your preferences and needs taking a back seat. This isn't just about picking a movie to watch on a Friday night, but rather about your significant life decisions being overshadowed by your partner's. If you feel your needs are consistently overlooked and your partner rarely compromises, it's likely you're in a one-sided relationship. Finally, if you're feeling drained because you're always chasing someone who doesn't reciprocate, you're probably in a one-sided relationship. This exhaustion, this perpetual chase, is the final sign we're discussing today. It's an emotional marathon with no finish line in sight, and it's a clear indicator that the balance in your relationship is off. One-sided relationships can be tricky to identify and even trickier to navigate. The signs we've discussed today can serve as red flags to help you recognize when you're in such a situation. Remember, an imbalanced effort, lack of reciprocation, limited communication, unfulfilled needs, and the absence of compromise are not just occasional occurrences in a healthy relationship. They're consistent patterns in a one-sided one. But recognizing the signs is only half the battle. It's essential to take the next step, which is often the hardest: walking away. Prioritize your emotional well-being. Your feelings, your needs, and your happiness matter. Don't let them be sidelined in a relationship that doesn't serve you. Relationships are a two-way street. They're about give and take, about mutual benefit. They're about two people sharing and caring equally. If you're not experiencing this, it's time to reassess. In the end, the most important relationship is the one you have with yourself. Respect it, nurture it, protect it. Don't settle for a relationship that drains you emotionally. Seek one that energizes you, one that brings you joy. Remember, a healthy relationship involves mutual respect, effort, and communication. Don't settle for less.